So, a comment in another one of the videos that talked about maybe playing an open G as a way of simplifying things with the left-handed upside down kind of thing. And I've never actually played an open G. I've done quite a bit in open D. And I've also done a fair bit in DADGAD. And so this is going to be mostly about playing in a DADGAD tuning. That's D, A, D, G, A, D. And I might do some open D at the end if there's still time. I don't want to make a super long video. But when you're in DADGAD, a lot of the stuff you're going to be playing is in the key of D. Now, just to make kind of a basic D chord, all you need to do is take this G string and you fret it on the second thing, and you've got this D, A, D, A, D thing. It's this big, like, root fifth octave sounding, like. So if you want to make a third in the chord, you could add it up here on the second to the fret beneath the octave fret on the G string to make that an F sharp. So that's just making a basic D chord. I did make a song maybe about 10 or so years ago where I kind of start there with that F sharp and I go down here to a C sharp to make it a D major 7, and I discovered that if I barred these three, right, you've got a root fifth octave just by barring that, and then this is a fifth above that. So that's kind of like the, well, I mean, this, I guess, by itself is the power chord plus a fifth. So you could do that all up and down in a DADGAD tuning. So that gives you kind of this like power chord thing. So you can just do that all up and down the neck if you want. So that's just barring these lowest three notes and adding a fifth above that. So that would be, you know, next string over 2 frets up to make that fifth. You'll notice that we kind of tend to leave these A and D strings jangling a bit in DADGAD, and that's fine. That's all part of it. Because what I find really appealing about this tuning is your ability to play these melodies on the lower strings and keep these two jangling. And the best way to do that is you do an octave plus a third. So I'll start here on the 12th fret of the D string here. So you kind of, I always put my pinky, and then I skip this next string. That's going to be muted by my ring finger. So you have this root, muted string, octave. And then you either add a major third if it's a major chord, so that's, or it's a, let's go down here to what would be the 6th chord, and make it a minor third if it's a minor chord. So when you kind of do that, you can just go up and down the neck, whether it's major or minor. So what you've got is a bass note moving beneath your root third of a chord. So you are suggesting a bass melody that is mimicking your chord melody, plus you've got these jangling strings on top. And so what you end up coming up with would be stuff where I kind of I would move like from the 1 chord here at the octave to a 5 and a 6, 4. I do 1, 5, 6, 4 a lot. And then maybe a 2, where that's root, muted string, octave. And then this open G string here is the 3rd. And your 2 chord is going to look like that. Root, muted, octave, minor third. That's your 2 chord. That's your 3 chord, sorry. And your 4 being major, that's root, muted, octave, and a major third. And then when you get to these chords, if you want to add another thing along this barred area, if you want to add on this A string, formerly the B string, that's also going to be part of the chord content, as will this one. So you could make barred chords like that if it's major, or if it's minor, with your finger on the minor third there, barred chords like that. So So I can kind of add those in between bass notes as well. So that's what's really cool about DADGAD, is the ability to do that kind of, to have these jangly chords there and then have this parallel octave thing plus thirds. It really makes it sound different than a normal guitar sound. So I really enjoy doing that on DADGAD stuff. So you have this kind of, just this open thing where you can improvise a lot of melodies and stuff. So, I guess that's really all I really wanted to say about DADGAD. So if we want to make it into open D, you just... So it should just sound like a... Not quite there. Where you can just kind of play it open and, oh, there's a D chord. Similarly, you can do kind of this thing where you've got these parallel octaves and you add a third. Just know that those thirds that you add are going to have to be 1 fret higher on the G string. So if you're trying to do like a 4 chord here based on the 2, 3, 4 on the 5th fret of the D string, you're going to have that root octave, but that's going to be your major third now, is right there next to the octave. And if it's minor, then that... And either way, they both sound really cool. So with open D, you're free to do a lot more melodic stuff because you don't have to worry about that G string being dissonant with anything. So you can kind of doodle a lot more on D. Anyway, that was totally wrong. My apologies. I haven't actually practiced open D before doing this, so maybe I should have done that first, but I think you get the point. So open D, very much like DADGAD, you can do the parallel octave thing, but you're a little bit more free to improvise because, like I said, you don't have that G string that's always going to sound like a suspended fourth. Now it's an F sharp that's always going to be kind of in harmony with your root chord. So that's it for DADGAD plus a tiny bit of open D, which, like I said, I should have practiced it first, but whatever. I hardly have time to do these things anymore. So I'm glad it's summertime and I can do that. I can add a couple more episodes for you guys. Thank you.